Hey everybody, how's it going? Just wanted to jump on here at the outset of the podcast, give you a heads up. There is a fair bit of foul language in this particular podcast. I am not one to censor guests. I am not going to tell them what they can and cannot do. I don't want them to feel as though they cannot be themselves on the Do It For Yourself podcast. And so, for that reason, I would just like to give you the warning. If you have sensitive ears around, if you are potentially traveling in the car with the family for Memorial Day weekend, this may be a podcast that you want to skip while you have them in the car, or you may want to just skip it altogether, and I can completely respect you for that decision. So, just as a heads up, lots of F-bombs coming at you. I hope you enjoy.
I've only admitted this to a few people, but when I was in rehab, I was pretty much planning on relapsing as soon as I got out. I was doing it to appease everybody else. I was like, fuck this. Like, I'll do this, shut them up, let them know that I can do it. I can be sober for a minute, and I'll slowly go back into, like, that was in the back of my head, I was like, they'll shut up. It'll be cool. And then I started talking to other people, and people were telling me that the improvements they saw in me, and I was like, shit. Like, and the people that I heard throughout my addiction and all that, I was like, it's fucking a lot more serious than I thought. And I started actually following the steps and doing what I had to do.
That is Nick Barba this week on the Do It For Yourself podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Do It For Yourself podcast. I would like to thank you for finding your way here to hang out with myself and the guest this week for about an hour or so as we weave our way through their story and how they are doing it for themselves. My name is Ian, and I am the creator and the host of not only the Do It For Yourself podcast, but the Do It For Yourself movement. And what that means is that you are in one way or another doing something for yourself. And that is not in a selfish manner. It simply means that you are doing something because it's what you want to do. You are not doing it because people are telling you that you have to or that you should. You are doing it your way, the way that you want to, and it's because you want to. And that may seem a little bit ironic given the story of this week's guest. And my guest this week is Nick Barba. And I met Nick many years ago. We had some mutual friends through high school. We actually ended up having a couple classes together while we were in college. And Nick's story began actually long after college when he decided that it was time for him to go through rehab. And Nick made this decision one evening after being up for, I think, about 3 days straight on multiple different substances, alcohol, and at one point actually wandering the streets of Chester, Pennsylvania, which is not a great town to be wandering around, especially at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. There's usually nothing good that's going on in the streets of Chester at that time. And so it was actually when Nick returned home that he came to terms with the fact that it was time for him to go to rehab. And as you'll hear in this podcast, Nick actually had all intentions of relapsing as soon as he got out of rehab. He was just doing this to get people off of his back. And so that's why I said this may seem ironic. But as you'll find, it turns into something much, much more than that. And so I think you're really going to enjoy Nick's story. I really enjoyed going through this story with Nick and getting to see his side of it, because I only saw what I could see from the outside looking in and kind of what he shared online. So just to go off of that, something that we did not get a chance to talk about during the episode, but something that we both would really love for you to check out. And the reason that I reached out to Nick for this podcast is his video part. So if you go on to YouTube, if you go on to Nick's Facebook profile, if you go on to Nick's Instagram, you just look him up under Nick Barba, you will find his video part. And you can even pause this episode, go watch this short video, and then come back and listen to his story, and it'll be even more powerful. So I really look forward to sharing this episode with you, and I hope you enjoy.
All right,
Let's do it.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
Let's fucking do it.
It's gonna be a ton of fun.
Oh yeah, we'll have stories.
I'm excited to go through your story, because I got to live a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I lived even.
Yeah.
I don't think I lived even a quarter of it.
Yeah, you got a bit of it for sure.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying before, we started that story where we were all chilling at your apartment in
Yeah.
Westchester, and I think I left the apartment 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's not like I left at midnight.
Yeah.
I mean, we were out all night, but I think you went on. And just as I was getting ready to come up here, I was talking to my neighbor, and I was like, yeah, dude, there was a couple times where I woke up to messages at 3 o'clock in the morning from Barba, and he was like, yo, what are you doing? You want to come chill? And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, no. I was long since in bed.
Oh yeah.
So you were getting after it for
Yeah,
sure.
Oh, yeah.
So Nick, just want to say thanks so much for making this work.
Absolutely,
this was
man.
super last minute, but I'm really glad that it worked out. And it worked out for you. You were coming up to skate. I only live 25 minutes from here, so it worked out real well. And like I said, I'm looking forward to going through it.
Yeah, I'm glad we finally met up. It's been a minute. It's been a fucking long time since I've actually seen you.
Yeah.
And I don't think I remember it at all. In my
Probably.
head, the last time I remember seeing you in my memory is me driving to Kutztown. But I've hung out with you in Westchester so many times. But in my head, I'm last time I saw you, it was in fucking Kutztown when I was driving up to visit Shelby.
Wow.
That and Christoph and them. That was
Yeah.
the last time in my head that I remember actually seeing you.
That's crazy.
So that kind of sums up my past few years.
Yeah. Well, your past
Just a blur.
minus the last 365 days, which is
Well, actually, July 10th it'll be 2 years. Actually, what is it today? I think yesterday was my 666th day sober, which I really wanted to get a screenshot because I have that app.
yeah.
And I really wanted to get the 666th day, and I fucking forgot about it till today. So today is 667 days sober. Because I was at a meeting, and they're like, how many days, sober do you have? And I was like, fuck, I don't remember how many days. In the beginning, I counted the days, the hours, the minutes that I had.
Yeah.
But I was like, I want to look on the app and see, and I had 665, and I was like, fuck, I have to remember tomorrow
Yeah.
to screenshot 666 just because I think it's funny.
So you don't log into that app every day?
No, I did in the beginning every single day because I was the rehab I was in was very it was a meeting just about every hour on the hour. We were in and out of groups, meetings. As soon as I got out of detox into the residential part of the rehab, it was meeting on meeting on meeting on sharing on meeting on. It was just I was over it and so I was like, nah, I'm good without meetings. I don't want to do that. So I was like, I got the app, so I can get my coins on the app. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the coins were a big thing for me because I was like, I fucking just want that to show, it made me feel better. Just because I wasn't really a part of the meetings. I wasn't a part of AA and NA the way that I should have been a part of it. So it was it kind of made me feel guilty, but at the same time, it kind of smacked me in the ass when I needed it because I started to hit when winter came around. That was my time of I started getting real depressed and fucking seasonal depression. I realized I had it a lot worse because when I was partying, I would just party.
Yeah.
And I was normally injured over the winter, so it's pain pills, whiskey, and fucking snow. It's you don't have to skate. You hurt and it's cold. So this winter, I was like, shit. It really kicked me in the ass. But that's when I started to hit meetings, just hang out with sober people to kind of keep my mind right because I started to get It was bad.
So when you first came out, you weren't doing your daily meetings. Like
No,
right after, you
no,
weren't going to a daily meeting.
Because I didn't know. I also didn't have my license. My license was suspended because I had a second DUI.
Okay.
So my license was suspended. I was still living with my mom, so I was trying to find an apartment. I was trying to find a better job. I pretty much was finding every reason to not do the steps. And realistically, I've only admitted this to a few people, but when I was in rehab, was pretty much planning on relapsing as soon as I got out. I was like, not, I was doing it to appease everybody else. I was like, fuck this. Like, I'll do this, shut them up, let them know that I can do it. I can be sober for a minute, and I'll slowly go back into, like, that was in the back of my head, I was like, they'll shut up. It'll be cool. And then I started talking to other people, and people were telling me that the improvements they saw in me, and I was like, shit. Like, and the people that I heard throughout my addiction and all that, I was like, it's fucking a lot more serious than I thought. And I started actually following the steps and doing what I had to do. I still aren't, I started to do the steps, and then I kind of backed off of it. And I'm kind of starting to get back into it again now. Just because, again, with my depression, with the winter and shit, like sometimes I still, like one thing will go wrong, and if I don't have control over it, I fucking spin out of control and I fucking go into a little dark hole again. But I,
Yeah, but I was gonna say you go into a dark hole, but you haven't gone back to
no,
like,
not at
because
all.
for a lot of people that could be the trigger right there. And it could be anything. I mean, literally anything could be a trigger.
Yeah.
When you're at that point. But so before we go too far down the rabbit
Yeah,
hole,
I feel like I'm talking
I want to go back and talk about like how you got to that point before you went to rehab. So I want to kind of like weave through your story a little bit and talk about like those high school days, because I know even like back when you were in high school and then early college, which is actually where we ended up meeting up, like you were partying in those days, but it wasn't like excessive partying.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's all relative, but
Yeah. I mean, my family is full of drinkers. I mean, some excessive, some not, but um I always I wasn't a problem child really, but like I like to do different shit. I like excitement. I like to just do wild shit when I was very young. And so I went towards the crazy side of my family, and they were all drinkers. So they would let me drink at a young age. They would think it's funny that I drank. So that by the time I was in like middle school, I had already developed a drinking tolerance. I was like already like cool. Like I could drink like 6 beers and feel normal. And it was by like probably 7th grade, like 8th grade. And then by middle school, end of middle school, beginning of high school, it was like drinking was nothing. I think I did coke my sophomore, junior year
of high school.
was like probably my first time doing coke, and that didn't really. It was like whatever. I didn't really touch it, and then, I mean, I think the main thing that set me off that when I realized I started developing an issue, like the drinking thing, I wasn't too worried about. I had 2 ankle injuries back to back, and that's kind of what set me off. I was doing pretty well with skating. Um, I got 1 ankle injury when I was in Raleigh, North Carolina. Or no, I think it was in North Carolina somewhere. But I rolled my ankle and just about tore my Achilles. Flew home, and they prescribed me muscle relaxers. And I remember it was muscle relaxers and I think like Vicodin or something. And I didn't take them just because I was like, I don't need that shit. Like I'm fine. And then my right ankle didn't get all the way healed, and I went back to film, and I did the exact same injury to my left ankle, almost exactly the same. Almost tore my left Achilles. So then I had 2 ankles like fucked up. They prescribed me the same thing, muscle relaxers, Vicodin, and I had at that point I was sitting on 2 scripts of
Like
each.
a double dose, yeah.
Yeah. So and then like skating was my only thing to kind of keep me out of trouble and to keep me fucking on a somewhat straight and narrow. So when I didn't have that, and I was just left to these pills and alcohol, I fucking did it all, and I felt unstoppable. I felt amazing. So I would just take at first it started with one of each, then it was like, fuck, I don't really feel it, take 2 of each. And it's like, well, fuck it, I'll crush a couple up, snort them. It's like, all right, well, that's fucking better than before. Then it was like crushing them up and snorting them was hard to get away with that because then people started seeing me go away during parties and fucking wonder why I'm coming back and I'm fucking nodding off.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was like people were worried about the pills. People started finding out about the pills, and then I was like, all right, I'm done with pills. Like I even like on my time hop to this day, it pops up like day 3 sober,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I would never fucking do that now. Like I don't want people knowing like anything. Like it's like yeah, like now I'll like post a picture of my 1 year of sobriety.
Yep.
But it's like right then I was doing that to fucking shut people up about the pills, and
You're doing it to like get people off your back.
kinda
Yeah,
I
because like
guess.
people were probably like, and I'm sure it was like a
And
concern.
I think that was before.
like,
That was right around the time I met you. Was the pills? I was kind of bad with them.
which was when we were like freshmen,
out
like
of-
freshman sophomore year
I don't think I
of
was.
college.
I think by that point I quit community college. You guys
Okay.
did real college. I just came to visit you to get the college experience.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Didn't actually go.
yeah.
But yeah, I was messing with pills, and I was like kind of coming off of pills around then. I think it was 2009 is when I was like, okay, I have an issue with these. Like
Mhm.
I can't fucking have a couple.
All from the
I was
ankle.
like, yeah. And then like I would not be able to get those. I ran out of those. This girl I knew had Klonopin and Valiums, and I would take those because that's just what she had for anxiety, and like Xanax. I didn't like Xanax too much because normally they would just get like the girl that I knew that had them had bars, and I wouldn't be able to take half. I would take the fucking whole thing, and I would be toast. So
Mhm.
like I would be able to take like I'd rather take a lot of like little than like one giant bar to fuck my entire shit up. Like I'd like to be able to be somewhat functioning in my own head.
Okay.
So then I stopped with that, and then I was like, all right, well I'll just start doing coke, like because then now I won't be nodding out. People will think I'm fine, and I'm up. I'm awake. I'm not sleeping anymore. I'm not nodded out. Like
Yeah, you're the exact
yeah,
opposite.
Like I went to a Kanye, Jay-Z, the Watch the Throne tour
Mm-hmm.
in Philly with all my friends. I slept through the entire show. I didn't see the entire thing. I showed up late to the pregame. I had a 40 ounce someone gave me, and that was it. And I was like, this is not enough. So I took a couple pills, slept through the entire thing. Don't remember one fucking song performed.
Wow.
And we were close. So this shit was loud.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was out. I remember I got woken up, and I went to stand up, and I fell face first in the alley, or in the aisle. And I remember my friends. Remember Anthony Lopez?
Yeah.
He helped me up, and somebody else helped me up. And I remember a kid looking at me, and like his dad. I remember his dad like kind of grabbing him, like, that dude, don't be like that dude. And I remember making eye contact with the kid and being like, fuck, I just frightened this child. Like, this is a problem. Like,
But so at that show, like now you're looking back and like knowing that it was a problem.
no, I knew it was them.
So you knew it was then.
I knew it was them, but I wasn't accepting of it. Like I fucking like people would bring it up, and I'd be like, yeah. I was like, whatever. Like I would say I was drunk or something. They're like, no, like you weren't, but I would just kind of brush it.
And that was in like 2009.
Yeah.
Somewhere
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, you were going out, then we get to the point where obviously, I mean, it seems like it wasn't that hard even for you underage to get your hands on alcohol.
Mhm.
So it wasn't that hard, but then once you turn 21, like you can go out and party. Like, so
Yeah.
now you're going out and partying.
I remember when I turned 21, I remember the thought in my head. I remember the road I was on. I was actually on my way here. I was coming around that one bend, and I was like, I'm never going to be bored ever again. I remember, I forget who the fuck I was driving with, but I was like, I'm never going to be bored. If I'm bored, I go to the bar. I'm
Mhm.
allowed to go in there now. So, like, I was like, I'm fucking set for life. I'm good. Like,
Well, and so not only that, but like how often, I guess because a lot of your partying was also probably done here.
yeah.
And so when did you start coming here, and like when did that kind of all come up?
I I used to work at the skate park in Kennett, and I met my buddy Matt Steindl there, and he was a filmer for Fairman Skate Shop in Westchester. And Bam had just built a barn here, and I think that was around 2009, 2010.
Okay.
Maybe 2010, 2011. I don't know. My time frame in my brain is fucked.
Mhm.
But he was like, "Hey, like I have the gate code to Bam's. Like he said we can go over there and skate whenever you want if you want to go film some tricks there." And I was like, "All right, yeah, sure. Like I'm down." And I think we went that day, and then like we came over here and filmed. And by that time, I don't think I had turned. I wasn't 21 yet, so it was. I don't know what year. I think I might have been 18 or 19. So actually, yeah, that was 2009 then, right?
Mhm. Yeah, thereabouts.
2008.
Yeah, there. Yeah, if you were 18 or
Yeah.
19, yeah, it was right about that time.
Yeah, so Bama came down when I was here, and we were younger. The kids I was with were younger, so when Bam came down to the skate barn, they all kind of like ran up to him to like talk to him, say what's up, and I kind of like stayed to myself and like just skated this rail in the corner, and he had come up to me to ask me how if I had pointers on the trick I was doing, and I was like, what the fuck is? You're the fucking skate legend. Why are you asking me how to do this trick?
Right.
Like, I thought it was just crazy. So I like gave him a pointer. He learned how to do the trick, and he's like, "Want to go drink Crown Royal?" And I was like, "Yes." So I just like left all my friends, and I was like, "All right, guys, see you." They're like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I'm going to drink Crown Royal with Bam." I
Yeah.
taught him how to frontside feeble. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Now,
so
did you grow up on like any of the CKY and stuff like that?
Yeah,
So like
yeah. I
when,
grew up on the CKYs, the fucking all of it.
So
It
when
was-
your buddy said you were coming here, it was probably
Yeah,
like it was.
yeah.
It was probably like it was for me when I pulled in the driveway today.
for
like,
sure.
oh shit! Like, yo, I remember seeing that on
Yeah.
TV. Like, it was probably like
Really, like not even the CKY so much, just like the footage from his video parts, like in the driveway skating.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was like, I want to like. It just looked like a fucking dreamland for skateboarders here.
Yeah.
It's like a adults like play place.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Especially with the barn and everything.
Yeah, and that was the thing. Like, there was nothing like that around back then.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
I mean, even still now, I don't know. I haven't skated probably like since I was in college.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's anything around like that, but I feel like there's still not very much that's
No.
like got what he has in the barn right
no,
now.
No. Normally, everything he has is built ridiculous. Like, it's crazy. Like, which is kind of just sums him up as an individual.
Yeah.
Just like out of control.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
I mean,
fun.
even
It's different.
if you watched the show, like even
Yeah.
if you watched the Viva La Bam and any of that stuff, like
Mm.
you got a chance to see that.
Right.
And I mean, I personally don't think that there was really anything that was like played up for TV. Like
Right.
I feel like it was just like the cameras showed up and they just turned them on.
Yeah,
like
they had like a timeline, I think,
could-
of like what they were talking about or whatever. But yeah,
it was
not-
pretty much like, you want to talk about reality TV?
Yeah.
It was pretty much like that
Yep.
was reality TV at that point in
Absolutely.
time. So you're here, you're hanging out, you're skating with him, like, you know, you get a chance to come up and drink Crown Royal at the house. I would have to imagine that's not the last time that then
No.
happens.
No, I think I might have stayed here that night, and like we drank all night, and then like actually I think that week I like stayed here like a bunch that week, and like we ended up going to New York, stayed up all night, went to New York, like hung out with like Selma Blair, which like I had no idea who she was until I ran into her. She was in some fucking old TV shows and movies and shit.
Okay.
But, hung out with like Mark Gonzalez at some bar, and I was like 18, got snuck into the bar. Like, it was just I had to get snuck into all the bars because wasn't old enough.
Right.
But yeah, then I don't know. I just pretty much had a group of friends that like, so if like they drank crazy, so like I drank crazy because
Mhm.
it's like I had already had like I said earlier, I had already built a tolerance to drinking.
Right.
I already did the pills and the fucking Coke here and there, so it's like I had already been warmed up to it all. So when they broke it out, I was like, let's fucking go.
Right.
Like,
And it wasn't like your first rodeo
Right.
either. Like
And-
you
and I-
knew.
And I realized I kind of well now, like after doing the whole treatment thing, it's like I realized I've always been fucking an addict just because of everything I do is to the highest extent. I can't do anything in moderation. That's what I realized, like, because even when I got out of treatment, I was in denial about me fucking being. I'm like, I don't think, like, I'm not doing heroin. Like, I'm not doing pills like that anymore. But I'm like, what the fuck? Like, and then I realized it's like, even like getting sober, I'm doing to the like I can't do it moderately. Like if I'm going to a meeting, I'm going to fucking like 5 meetings a week,
Okay.
6 meetings, two, sometimes 2 a day. If I have nothing to do, just to keep my time fucking, just to use my time wisely. Just there's like not enough time in a day for me to do everything I want to do now,
And
which
you
is crazy.
and you don't want to just sit
No,
and kind of
No.
like chill because
No.
downtime would not be good
Well, not even that.
to an extent. I mean,
At this point, downtime is good for me, but I still just I always have something going on. Like in the beginning stages of like my recovery, downtime wasn't good because
Mhm.
I got in my own head
Mhm.
and I wasn't willing to go to treatment or I mean, not treatment. I wasn't willing to go to meetings because I didn't have a license, but I was also finding every reason to not do what I needed to do. So really, like I got lucky as shit that I stuck it out and have been able to like Novak's helped me out a shit ton because
Yeah.
like when I'm feeling weird and like thank God like I have a beautiful girlfriend now that like helps me out when she sees when I start to get into a mode where it's like all right you need to chill out like
Mhm.
she can straighten me up real quick and like get me back to where I gotta like I don't know I guess just feel more comfortable to not I don't know it's hard to explain. But she sees me when I start going down a dark path again. Like I was saying to you earlier, like the winter, like
Mhm.
the seasonal depression. She's real hands on with that. Helps me out with that a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, I still have a lot of work to do for sure. Like all the steps and all that shit. Like I'm going on year 2 of being sober now, and I still haven't done nearly as much as I need to.
So
But
let's talk about that because the partying went on for like a long time.
hmm
I mean, it went on for a long time before, but it was always like even when I would see you and we were out and you were saying before we started recording that there were times that I was just talking to you about and you're like, yeah, I don't remember seeing you, but it didn't seem like you weren't like zonking out when I saw you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So when did it get to that point? Do you think or like when did it get to the point where it was like you were like zonking out pretty bad and things were like
see, it kind of it went back and forth. I would like around the 2009, 2000, between 2008 and 2010, 11, I think I would say I was the pill stages.
mhm.
Was like when I was pretty bad with those. And then I stopped doing those.
And did you stop just because people were like on your back about it?
Kinda, I think. I don't really remember like that's the hardest part about this whole like my whole past is my memory is shot.
Okay.
Like bits and pieces I remember, like really, like for instance, me falling in the aisle and looking at the kid that I don't know how I remember
You
that,
can see that
but
vividly.
I can see that picture of I could tell you the rappers that I fell on, like on the ground, but I can't tell you like very specific. Even like towards the beginning of my recovery, being sober, there's some things I don't remember. Like it's crazy some
Wow.
of the shit it's like that I remember so vividly and then some shit I just don't have at all. But like um yeah, I don't know. I know so I would be bad with the pills between that time and then I was doing coke and I would drink crazy because it was like I'm not doing pills. I'm not fucking nodding out.
Mhm.
And then I would when people were saying I was drinking too much and I was like cuz when I would do a lot of blow and whiskey and drinking, I would get nasty sometimes because I would be up for fucking 3 days,
Yeah.
and I would I wasn't taking certain shit. Like somebody would look at me a certain way. I'm like, who the and or then people calling me out saying I needed help. I'm like, who the fuck are you to tell me that I need help? I'm like, you're the one serving me a drink.
Mhm.
Like, shut the fuck up and do your job. Like who the fuck am I to be talking to people like that? You know what
And
I
that's
mean?
this
Like,
was like in a bar.
yeah. And then I would be like, I was banned from multiple bars for a long time, from like getting caught doing pills in the bathroom to fucking just being straight up an asshole. And like, I wasn't the type to like go out and be loud. Like, I was to myself, I was there for a reason. I was
Mhm.
there to drink, and that was it. And it's like, if I ran into people on the way there, that I would find routes to where I knew I could run into people that had certain shit. And like, there was that one girl in Westchester that if I told her a certain sob story that something went wrong, like I would make up relationships I had with girls just to tell that girl that they broke up with me or they cheated on me, just so she would give me a whole bunch of Klonopin. And it would work every time.
And she would just give it
She
to
would
you.
just give me handfuls of them.
She wouldn't even, you wouldn't even have to pay her for
I
it
would
or
tell her I
anything.
would pay her, but I never pay. I still haven't paid her to this day, and I have no idea where she is. If I ever see her, I will give her money, because that's like a part of the. I don't even fucking remember her last name, to be honest.
And so you
But I
have
bet you Christoph knows. I know Christoph knows her. But I don't. I remember. I forget.
but in a way you're, and I don't want to make this sound like it's not like in a bad way.
Yeah.
But you're not going out of your way to find her either.
No.
Because
I mean,
you don't want to.
Nah.
Right? You don't
I mean,
you don't need to bring that back up. You don't need to
No.
go back down that road.
No, but at the same time, at some point, I need to make my amends to everybody, and that was one thing. That was one thing in the steps that I kind of skipped around. I didn't do it the right way. I still haven't, but I'm going to. I'm making a point to do it. But I did reach out to a certain amount of people to make amends, just to kind of clear, just to get my conscience cleared off and just make me feel a little bit better. And some people are willing to accept it, some people aren't.
Yeah.
A couple of my boys in Westchester I reached out to. I was like, "Hey man, look, I apologize for everything," and I heard I got nothing back. But it's like, whenever they're ready, I'm trying.
Yeah,
know what
you
I
did
mean?
your part.
Yeah.
You did your part.
Yeah.
So this now we got up to like 2010, but you still, so it's like 2019 you're going to be on, that'll be 2 years, right? So if if we hack 2 years off that, you were still going up until 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So we still got a big gap there. So you were on and off of like the pills, the cocaine, so the substances, we'll say,
Mhm.
right? But you were using alcohol the entire time.
Yep.
Like that was never like, hey Nick, you should really, you know what I mean? No one
Yeah.
ever really got
No,
on you about that.
No, people got on me about it.
Did they?
But they just saw, I mean, they knew. I don't know if they just thought I would never stop drinking, but they knew that the pills were and the blow were like, I mean, they are an issue, but I think in an outsider's perspective, that's a more serious issue because of obvious reasons.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like I had seizures when I was younger, and I had blamed it on my diabetes, which is ironic because I just had a seizure actually like 2 weeks ago because my blood sugar dropped too low, and in front of my girlfriend's whole family, and that was fucking insane. But
yeah, they were probably freaking out.
and they were like, "Fuck, is this dude doing drugs again?"
Yeah.
Like,
oh wow, I didn't
yeah.
even think of that.
Yeah.
I would never even thought of that.
Yeah, I was like fasting. I'm like doing this diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
You're doing like intermittent fasting.
No, it was.
Or you were doing like a
24-hour
yeah,
fast.
full, yeah, okay.
So like I was doing it. I was just eating at 5:50 every day, and it was my girlfriend's birthday dinner. They had reservations at 7, so that day it was 26-hour fast, which like isn't that much more, but like me being diabetic, type 1 diabetic, I have to like stay on top of my blood sugars, and normally I can feel it when it drops low, but I don't know. I was just she said I was weird all day, and I was just like super weak, and like she tried to wake me up, and in front of her whole family I just had a seizure, like bit my tongue. She said I stopped breathing. I like turned gray. She was like holding my head, and like blood was coming out of my mouth because I bit my tongue. And she was like, she didn't know. She was like, did he do something? You know what I mean? So I got rushed to the hospital, and they saw it. It was just my blood sugar.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
we were supposed to meet that day.
Yeah.
We were supposed to
Yeah.
come here to do the
Yeah.
podcast
Did I tell
that
you?
morning.
Did I tell you about it? Yeah.
No, because you posted a picture from like in the hospital, and I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
deleted
dude, are
it.
you cool?
Yeah,
Like,
and I deleted that because I was like, it was stupid. to
yeah.
kinda- But
Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
you never said anything back, and I was like, I guess everything's all right. Like, you didn't
Yeah.
really say anything.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like push it any further.
yeah, it was kind of crazy. But I had a seizure before, and that was through I took too many pills. And this kid that I was getting pills from at the time, um, like held me to my side, and like I remember waking up and he's like, "You had a seizure, dog. You had a seizure." I'm like, and like for months I was like, "Yeah, I didn't have a seizure. Like I was cool." But
Mhm.
like my mom had seen that, and I was like, I think I blamed it on my diabetes. I'm like, yeah, my blood sugar, whatever. Like I was cool. Like I checked my blood, and I was like, yeah, it was low. I'm fine.
So that was at
So
home.
yeah.
Like you had him at home,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
you would just kind of play
yeah,
it off.
yeah. It was yeah.
And I mean, your mom is probably still. I haven't seen her in years, but like even still to this day, I'm sure she's a saint because she was a saint.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
back in the
man.
day when we
I
like,
love her to death.
because we came and partied at the house
Yeah.
over on the golf course,
Mm-hmm.
and like she was just hanging out with us, like
Yeah.
just standing in the kitchen. We were just having a good time. Like
Yeah.
there was people coming in and out. It wasn't like, I mean, we weren't throwing a house party by any means.
Yeah.
Like it was just people coming in and out. Like somebody would stop by, like, hey, what's going on? She
Yeah.
was giving out fucking haircuts at
Yeah.
like 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't want to say that she wasn't like enabling you by any means, but
No, and that's what I'm like. I always try to let her know that like, and she will always feel somewhat guilty, as like I would too if like I had a son or daughter that fell victim to
why? Yeah, why didn't I
it.
see
It's
that?
like why didn't I stop it? Like, but it's not something you could stop. And the more you try to stop it, the more we're gonna go and fucking make sure that we get what we gotta get. Like, we're
Yeah,
gonna get it either way.
right.
Like you can do anything you want. We're gonna get it. So, yeah, she's been my rock through the whole thing. Between her and my girlfriend helping me out, I don't know what I would do without them helping me through this shit.
And
Sure.
so, like leading up to your final episode, but going up to that, and I know it might be hard to remember, but was there any other time that you remember that was like really, really bad? That was like kind of like a light bulb moment or like an eye opening moment that was like, I should maybe try and get some help.
Um, shit. I mean, aside from both DUIs, but even those, I was like, nah, like I was fine. Like I would be like, nah, it was just like I was right over the legal limit. No, I wasn't. I was fucking. It was bad. Both of them were bad. But yeah, I remember being up for days at a time, and I would hang out. I would make phone calls to people that would. I'm like, hey, want a drink? And whoever, if I couldn't find anybody, I would make sure I found somebody, and whoever I would drink with that person until they were done. They would go away. I would make a phone call to somebody else. So each time I would drink with somebody, and they would think I would be done when they would leave. I would keep going. I would be up for fucking like 3, I think like close to 4 days. I was up, and I remember just like fucking not having drugs anymore, and fucking not being able to just get my hands on anything, just looking in the mirror and being like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, to the point to where it was like, I was for sure suicidal. I was for sure, but like I didn't want to fucking. It's hard to explain because like I wanted to just get away. I didn't want to. I wanted to die, but I didn't want to feel nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like it's real hard to, I guess, put people in that spot that I was in, which I would hope nobody. I mean, it was at the point just where it wasn't fun anymore, and it was a necessity that I needed to do. And if I woke up and I didn't have something, and if I didn't have anything to do, and I didn't have any money, I didn't know what but I always found a way, no matter
Now, were
what.
you working at all or no?
Yeah, I mean here and there. I mean, when I wasn't working was the worst part.
Right.
But like when I would still find way. Like I was working at my uncle's produce stand. I would get pills and coke there, and I would fucking I would snort shit in porta potties there at
Like
work.
as you're working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was thinking like when you were working, you would have money. But I guess you said that this chick wasn't like this chick would give you pills and that didn't
Yeah.
matter. So
yeah. That ran dry pretty quick, 'Cause I think she started to figure out that
She wasn't gonna get her money.
she knew she wasn't getting her money, and I always started to do it once a week. And I started telling her the same story. She's like, I'm pretty sure she just picked up on it. And I
Yeah.
was just like, I didn't care. But yeah, it was. But that was around the time where I was like, okay, I need to stop with this shit anyway. Like people are starting to fucking talk.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started doing a lot more coke and just drinking, which is like, I feel like that's almost like standard around Westchester now. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but I feel like that's
I
like
have
normal.
no idea.
Like a little bit of blow and fucking whiskey is like a mellow night.
That's
I
like a
feel
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I think in my
I have
head.
no. I mean, I have
Yeah.
no idea. I have
Yeah.
no. I mean, I haven't been. I mean, I would go. I've been out in Westchester, but it's
Yeah.
been like, like 7, 8 o'clock at night. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I was like at the bar, like at Kildare's upstairs, like on the
Yeah.
dance floor. Like, nah,
Yeah.
that's just. I mean, that was my scene for like a year
See,
or
even
2
when I was
years.
drinking
Like,
though, my scene was like Jake's Bar on like a Tuesday morning.
yeah,
It was never Kildare's on a Friday night. Like I would fucking, I don't know. Like even like I'll try to get like my girlfriend now. She isn't a huge drinker, but like I went out to New York for her birthday, and like they went to like a club and like rented this room out, and I was just like she will have like 4 drinks and be like, okay, like I'm good. I'm like, what? No, like it's your birthday.
yeah,
Get shit faced. And she's like, no, like worried about like me being uncomfortable. I'm like, look, no, like I'm here for you for your birthday. Like I'm good.
yeah,
Like I know what I got to do. I know what I can handle. I know what I can't handle. And I'm far enough in my recovery to where I know when a situation that I'm in I need to get out of. And that wasn't. I knew that I was there for her. I wasn't there because I was bored, and I just happened to walk into a club by myself. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I was there just for her.
So I want to ask you about that,
Mhm.
like in a couple minutes,
Mhm.
because that's not the first time I've heard someone say that, and like being able to remove themselves from a situation and knowing when they have to go.
Mhm.
So I want to talk to you
Yeah.
about that, but I want to ask you about like the final time and where you were, as much as you can remember, like
Right
the phone call, like
before I went to rehab.
yeah.
Damn. You know what's so fucking crazy is I've never actually talked about my last time drinking because I really don't remember. Oh no, I do remember now. I was in Philly. No, I was in Westchester first at Jake's Bar, my fucking spot.
It's not
And
there
then
anymore. If it makes you feel any better,
Jake's isn't.
I'm pretty sure it
Get the
closed.
fuck out.
I think it closed. Yeah, I think it closed. And if it didn't close, there was a threat of it closing, and then somebody came in and bought it back up again. But I heard on the
Damn.
radio that it was supposed to close.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
But that's where I started, and
probably early.
Mhm,
Yeah.
of course. And I think that was going from the night before, but I think I like slept the night before, woke up, still kind of feeling it, went to Jake's, went around Westchester, and I was just like kind of friend hopping. That was how it started. I was bored, so I was day drinking, friend hopping, went to Duffer's, drank there, called my Coke dude who was in Chester. He told me to go to his house. I didn't have my license at the time. I had got my second DUI by then, and I Ubered to Chester, and I'm walking around with like a 12-pack of beer at like 3, 4 in the morning. And
In Chester.
yeah, I would walk those streets often.
For anyone that's listening that's from outside of this area, I would say that there's there's parts of Chester that are equally as bad, if not worse, than like North Philly, like the worst parts of Philly. Like it's not a nice area. It's definitely not somewhere you want to
Yeah.
be walking around at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and so I was walking around there, and I had gotten hassled a little bit by people just because I was not. See me walking around there, you know that I'm not supposed to. I'm not supposed to be there
Right.
at all.
Right.
And the dude never fucking showed up. I was like knocking on his door. People showed up, and they were kind of harassing me. So then I was talking to my friend that was living in Philly, and they told me to come over to their place. So I went to their place, partied there, did some blow there, that they had, and drank some more. Through that night, they all passed out. I started bar hopping in Philly.
So
And
we're now in.
from
It
Chester
was
to
4.
Philly.
Yeah. So it was
I
4 o'clock in
Ubered.
the morning that
Yeah,
you were
so
in Chester.
I got to
You
Philly by like
partied
6, probably.
at night.
Well, no, it was 4 in the morning, Chester.
Uh-huh.
Till about 7, they probably passed out. I'm assuming.
Okay.
Around
Right.
7, they passed out, and then we partied. Then I started going bar to bar. My friend Mimi lives in Philly, and she works at a diner. She worked at a diner,
Mm-hmm.
so I went there to meet her. She saw me in rough shape,
Mm-hmm.
and I was asking her what bars to go to, what bars opened, and conveniently enough, the last bar that I had gone to in Philly was called 12 Steps Down, which was like of like the 12 steps of recovery, but it's 12 steps down into a bar.
Ironic.
And that was which
Ironic.
is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that until after I got home from rehab. But I went there, drank there by myself for a while, and then went back to Jake's, drank there by myself.
How'd you
And,
get from Philly back to Westchester?
a girl from out of the group of friends in Philly got me an Uber back there. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I told her that my card didn't work. And I was like, look, I got to get back for this thing for work. And like, she was like, all right, like, I got you. And I was like, sucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she got me a Uber back to Jake's. I drank at Jake's. Then I was hitting everybody up and so by this point, this is like my 3rd day up.
Yeah.
And I'm at Jake's, and then I Uber home. I'm like, I'm out of money. I don't have anything. I fucking went home, and I vaguely remember being at Jake's a little bit. I vaguely remember being at my apartment. I just remember being fucking angry and like breaking shit. I tried to fight my brother that was there. And then
were you angry because
I was just wasted. And
I was gonna say you were just wasted and up. It didn't have anything to do with not being able to get anything else.
I mean, that was for sure. I'm sure that played a role in it. Like I was wasted. I was awake for days, and I was starting to. I wasn't on. Like nothing was happening anymore.
Right, you were starting
And
to come.
the thing
You were
is,
starting to come down.
even if I had shit, nothing was gonna happen. Like I had to hit the tolerance to where it was like you could just keep doing it, but I wasn't gonna be feeling anything anymore.
Right.
So I was like kind of just screwed all around. And then I don't remember the conversation between me and my mom, but I was like, fuck it, I'll go. I mean, I got no other, but I really don't even remember saying I'll go to rehab.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember being in a car and pulling up to the rehab, and I was like, fuck, how can I get out of the situation?
Which is a long time. You said it was like 3 hours away.
Yeah, but I don't remember the drive.
Right. So there was a long time from.
Apparently, I'd been FaceTiming Mimi, who had showed me what bars to go to
Mhm.
in Philly, and like I was crying. I was a fucking wreck. But yeah, I don't know. I remember going into the rehab, and they were like, I was like, nope, I'm not doing this, and I just tried to get the fuck out, and they like just tried to talk me. I was like, I was in no fucking shape. I was ready to like run out into the woods and just fucking figure it out from there.
Mhm.
But I just bit my fucking lip and was like, fuck it, let's just get this over with.
So going in even that night, like you said, you mentioned this at the very beginning, but like you were just going in again, same as when you posted on Facebook 3 days sober. You were just doing it to get people off your back.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. And like me FaceTiming Mimi and crying, I don't remember the conversations we were having.
Right.
But like I had to have been like, okay, there's no way I can be sober for like ever. I still have people asking me that. They're like, so are you gonna like do this forever? And I'm like, I hope, like
Yeah.
I got my life back. Shit. I mean, if I work it the way that I should, then yeah, I should do this shit forever. I mean, you never know. Something could happen and I could be fucking wasted tomorrow.
Right.
I mean, just gotta work it the right way and hang out with sober people. And even people that aren't sober, like I can do it, but if I am struggling, I need to do what I gotta do.
Right. So that's what I wanted to ask you about because that's a situation and that's a very difficult situation, right? And so I have heard, obviously I don't know, I haven't gone through the program, I don't go to meetings or anything like that, but I've heard that if there are some people that go through the program that believe that you should not even be around it in the least bit.
Yeah.
And they actually say to people like, "Oh, you still go to bars, or like your wife or husband or who, boyfriend, girlfriend has a drink like right next to
Yeah.
you, you're never going to make it."
Oh yeah.
Right? So, I'm assuming that wasn't something you were doing like 90 days in.
No, well, actually, no. I think 90 days in, because you know what? I had a lot of issues even with the treatment center that I was in. There was one dude that came in and look, anybody that believes in whatever they want to believe in, like I'm not fucking gonna tell anyone to believe in anything. But as soon as you start pushing it on me, that's where I'm like, nah. Like I'm not like there was one dude that came in here was like, look, if you don't believe in God, you might as well walk out now. And I don't. I mean that's just my own like I don't go to the church. I don't believe in that shit. But their dude came in and was like, look, if you don't believe in God, you might as well go to the bar. And it's like, I took that and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking leave right now and go to the bar then. Like you can't tell people that are fucking vulnerable and like in treatment to
Yeah,
like.
that's weird.
I was like,
That's
and then
weird.
even like when I was leaving the rehab, I was supposed to see a counselor like throughout the whole time when I was there. I only seen him once, a day before I left. And I was even weaseling him to write me prescriptions for Adderall. He wrote me prescriptions for. He was like, "Look, as soon as you leave here, you get your script of Adderall." Like to this day, I'm like, why in the fuck would you write me prescriptions and make that my number one priority leaving here? Like, the dude literally
Wow.
said, "Have you been diagnosed with ADHD?" I'm like, "No, but I absolutely have it." Like, there's no I for sure like I can't pay attention to fucking anything. I
Right.
can barely read a book unless I'm in a jail cell or fucking rehab.
Mm-hmm.
um and yeah, he said number one priority when you leave here, and I told everybody I was like, look, that's doctor's orders. Like I'm just and the first couple weeks, like I made sure I didn't tell Novak that because he would have seen right through it and seen that I was fucking hustling the program, and that wasn't even really hustling it. The dude told me that, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then like 2 weeks, I kept trying to get the prescription filled, and it wasn't working. Nobody like I couldn't get an appointment. Nothing was like panning out. I was like, fuck. All right, well, I guess that's like if there's gonna be any type of sign, that's it. Like I'm just not gonna do it. And that's when I kind of like came clean with my mom. I was like, look, this dude was fucked up. Like
That's crazy though.
yeah,
Like that's
well, and then a lot
crazy.
of the people were telling me because I was paying out of pocket, they were like, "Look, here's a script for Adderall. Cha-ching, you'll be back in
You're
here in
gonna be
30
right
days."
back in.
So
Wow.
yeah, but like, so when I left, I mean, again, it's nothing against people that have their beliefs. Like with the whole with the whole AA it was like you have to like higher power. They said God, and like in the treatment center I was in, they were real gung ho on God, and I was like, all right, like I was finding every reason to not stay sober. So I was like,
Right.
nah, like I don't believe in God, so I don't have to be so like, fuck it. If this is what it takes, not me. But then I found what like I talked to Novak and he helped me. He was like, look, you don't have to. Your higher power could be fucking anything. Like you could still do the 12 steps even though you don't believe in God and like do whatever you got to do to like still stay sober. And like I've done it, and to this day I'm still sober. So
Now, was Novak like a motivator for you?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I mean, obviously the last time that he went through rehab was the last time that he went through rehab,
hmm
but it wasn't the first time that he went through
No, he
rehab.
did it like 13 times.
Yeah, like you can go back and read his books
Yeah.
and like yeah, like you
Yeah,
said
he lived with me for a
it
while.
was like 13
And that
times.
was also another reason why I was like, fuck it. Like, I don't need to stay sober. Like, I'm not like him. Like, I'm not doing fucking heroin. Like, I was fucking,
Yeah, just go
I was,
back and read his book
yeah,
Dream Seller, and like you'll
yeah,
you'll you'll read all the story. I mean, like we're not like sharing secrets here. Like this shit's out there. Like go back and read his book. Like
yeah. He
he
just put
was
out
doing
another one
like
too, like with an extended ending. And he has like a comic book out now, like a first like graphic novel thing. Yeah, he's killing it for
yeah.
sure.
I mean, so like did you look at that and say like was there even a shadow of doubt that like well like the first time didn't work for Novak, like maybe the first time's not going to work for me. Like
Well, with me, my motivation was like, fuck, like I don't want to go through this again. I don't want to put the people that I love through this again. I want to be I just want to be better. I feel better now. Why stop? Why go backwards? You know what I mean? Like I made it here. Like I made it through treatment, did what I had to do. Let's just keep doing this and just see where it goes. Cause at first, like I said earlier, I was like, I'm just doing this shit to fucking like I was planning to relapse before I even went out of there. And in my head, it wasn't even a relapse because in my head, I was fine. I
mhm.
didn't have an issue because I wasn't doing heroin. The people that were in the rehab I was in, were doing heroin, but they also weren't in detox as long as I was in detox because of all the shit I was coming off. I was in detox for 7 days. There was a dude that came in there with his wrist slit and he was all fucked up on heroin. Wasn't in detox as long as I was. So like that kind of puts you in perspective of what kind of shape I was in when I went
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I mean, it got to the point to where like I was so used to being under the influence of something that when I was sober and I was out in the pub, like out in like public sober, it felt like I was on something because I wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you're so used to being fucked up that like when you weren't, it was like,
You're like,
yeah,
"Oh wow, like this is what it's like to
yeah.
just be like a normal
It was real
person."
awkward to like talk to people, like walking around. It was crazy. It was culture shock for sure.
What about your skating?
My skating, that was weird kind of too, just cause like I was sober, so like I had to get all like my motor skills back, kind of like I was all out of it, like jello legged, but like as soon as I got back into like my legs got back and my muscle memory got back, it was like fuck, this is all I want to do.
No, but like when you were out like drinking for days on end and stuff, you would still go skate, right?
Not really, not really,
Oh,
not
okay.
too much. I would do it maybe for like an hour if I like before I would go out drinking or something, or I would like film a trick here at the barn and then go out in Westchester and party. It's like, all right, filmed a trick. Let's go fucking
Let's
celebrate.
celebrate.
Oh, it's like, oh fuck, I rolled my ankle. Let's
Let's
go
go.
drink.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh fuck yeah, it's a nice day out. Let's go drink.
Yeah, you're
Fuck,
like
dude,
you
it's
don't
pouring. Let's go
yeah,
drink.
yeah, you
Like
don't you can come up with any reason that you
yeah,
want to, for
yeah.
sure.
And that was another reason. Like I kept hitting people up, like, "Yo, do you drink?" And they're like, "Dude, you're fucking out of your mind." I'm
Yeah.
like, "So, let's fucking go."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but I mean, you flipped. So not only did you go through your rehab, but like you flipped a complete switch. Like you did a complete like 180 at least, because you then went into like now you're focused on your diet, and like you said you're doing fasting, like, and you're like eating really good like high quality foods, like, so you made a complete flip. And
yeah,
is that just all like because you feel like you're getting like a second chance now, or
yeah,
as you said, you got your life back?
yeah, for sure. Well, it's a combination of a lot of things, I think. I mean, I got like I said earlier, it's like I do everything to the highest extreme, as people say. Just like I can't just do it. Like I can't just be like a little like just be sober. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? It's like I'm gonna be sober. I'm gonna eat better. I'm gonna work out. Like I work out at least 4 times a week. I skate. I run on the treadmill. Like doing. I'm just trying to be like the best version of me possible. And it's like I know what to do that. So why not do it? You know what I mean? Rather than just like thinking about doing it. Like for years, I just like, oh yeah, like I'll do it like one day. You know what I mean? But now I'm like, let's just fucking do it. Like I'll feel better. Like, it might suck doing it for like the time being, but like you'll feel better at the end. It's like, why not do it? You know what I mean?
What do you think your number one motivator is right now?
Mm, number one motivator.
Like to stay with it.
Um, really just seeing where I came from, I think. I would say just because like I see like there's um I was showing my like the Time Hop app. I was a picture popped up of me um I guess it was the morning of my buddy Gary's wedding, and I was standing there with like my pants down, a beanie on, and like a button up, and I was like drinking a beer at like fucking 8 in the morning. And I think I was probably 220 pounds, and I did like a screen split of like that next to a picture of me and my girlfriend, and I was like, fuck. Like that alone, like that picture is like probably a big motivator just to see like where I came from and like where I can go from here. And like just trying to get better and feel better every single day.
Now, what was it like to build this relationship with your now girlfriend? And when did you guys meet?
That's actually, yeah.
Because I would on the flip side of it, like for me, when I first met my girlfriend, she had no idea like what my past was.
Yeah.
So like she would be like, "Oh, do you want to go out like and eat this, or do you want to have like get this for dinner? Do you want?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "No, like I don't
Yeah.
really eat that, or like
Yeah.
no, I don't really do that, or like." And she's like, "Oh, well, why not? Why not? Why not?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll explain it later. I'll explain it later." Like it was just something that was like it definitely needed to be like out there in the open, and I had to like tell the story,
Yeah.
but it was kind of like
Yeah, you like,
like even still I was like almost hesitant to
yeah,
like
you
talk
you
about
didn't
it.
want to get into it, but at the same time you
Right.
knew you had to at some point.
Yeah,
But you're like, fuck,
exactly.
is now the time to do it?
Yeah.
See, I got kind of lucky in this point, and like me and my girlfriend's story is kind of crazy. Cause I don't know if I even told you, but I met her. My family does this golf outing once a year for my uncle that passed away, and I don't do well with golf courses. As that one house that I lived in high
Mhm.
school was on a golf course. I got banned from because I stole like 8 golf carts, destroyed them, threw one into a lake, and like a crane. The cops pulled it out with a crane. I think Christoph was there that night.
It wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise
we
me.
destroyed like we did like $50,000 in damages at this golf course.
Damn.
But that was like my first golf course experience
I thought you were
with
just gonna say
alcohol.
because you
But
would like you were drinking when you were playing golf. That's why you didn't do well
no,
with golf
no, no, I
courses.
wasn't
Like,
even playing golf. We just knew a dude that worked there, so we got the keys. I'm just incriminating myself, but this was over 10 years ago, so I
yeah,
don't
you're
care.
good.
Um, but yeah, so she happened to work at this golf course that I think got banned from this golf course this year too. That year, not
Okay.
this past year. That year that I was there, she was a cart girl, her and her sister. And it was me, Bam, Novak, Mohawk, a few other people that were like on our like my team when we were golfing, and we were just like wasted. And I kept calling the car girls over, and like I've had my own personal bottle of Jack Daniels, so like we were already tore up. Like I didn't sleep the night before. I was like a mess. But like they kept coming over, and we just kept like flirting with them and messing with them. And she had um I guess followed her on Instagram or friend requested her, and we became friends. But years later, she saw I guess she had kept track, or she would had followed me and like liked some pictures or whatever. And I would see her pictures, but like wouldn't really get into it. And she had congratulated me on my 1 year of sobriety. So I was like, fuck, I don't know how to like talk to girls anymore, like sober. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
just felt awkward. So I just DM'd her and I was like, hey stranger, like what the fuck's good? Like I was like, fuck, that was so stupid.
Yeah, you wish there was like an
I'm like,
unsent.
why did I do that? And she says that she was like trying to think of a way to DM me. I think she's just being nice. But Yeah, so I messaged her and she was like, "Oh, like, so I'm so happy for you and your sobriety." Um, she like told me that she got in trouble the day that we met on the golf course because they said that she overserved me, but like she had only like gave us like 4 beers, but like I said, I had a personal bottle of
Right,
Jack
right.
Daniels, but like she got in trouble between our first connection, like through me. So that was like the first time we met, I was blacked out.
Yeah.
And then the next time we met, we went on a date, and then we just started dating like 3 or 4 times after we hung out after that. But like, so she already
She
knew.
knew the whole story already.
That's what I was saying. I kind of got lucky with that one. She like saw me at my worst, kind of,
Mm-hmm.
but like didn't get to experience the shitty part of it. Just like that brief encounter, like she got in trouble through me. So she
Yeah.
was probably like, "Fuck this dude," like.
Yeah.
But then she saw like the 1 year of me being sober, and then she was like, "Cool."
And so, how important do you think it's been having that support system? Like,
Oh,
especially like
super
in
super
her. And I
important.
know you were saying earlier that like she can see when you're getting weird, and like
Yeah,
she kind of like pulls you out.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Like I don't know what I would do without her for sure. She definitely helps me out a lot. Um, she's super on to like anytime there's like any alcohol in any situation, she's like, "Are you sure you're good?" I'm
mm-hmm.
like, "Yeah, like I'm fine." But like just the fact that she takes the time to be like, "Are you okay with this?" Like means a lot. You know what I mean? 'Cause it just shows that she's thinking about it. Like a lot of people wouldn't think twice about it because they hadn't gone through what I've gone through. So like
Right.
she
I mean, I
thinks
know
that
I'm guilty of that. Like,
yeah, I mean
I would never think of that.
yeah, but like it's not an issue for me really at all anymore. Like of course she knows I hate like crowded bars like
Yeah, but you hated crowded bars
yeah,
like
exactly.
when you were drinking. So
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
that's like not something
that's
that's
not
like
even a
new.
sobriety thing. That's just
Yeah.
a thing. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Even if it's any crowded area I fucking hate, really.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way.
But yeah, she's the best for sure.
Word.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you with one last question, and I want you to like think back to that, like when you came out of rehab
Mhm.
and you were, you know, like you're fresh out of rehab, you're just getting ready to kind of start this new chapter, and especially like getting into not just your sobriety, but then the whole change that you went through. Um, think back to that point and like kind of put yourself back in those shoes again, um, and think what you would say to somebody who is in that position, right? So somebody who's in that position, getting ready to get started on whatever it is that they're doing, sobriety, fitness, start a business, launch a podcast, pick up a skateboard for the first time. Like it's just they're getting ready to do something that they really want to do, but they still have that like nervous kind of like reserve. Um, what's something that you can offer to them, like a little piece of advice?
I would say, I mean, it's really all circumstantial. I mean, if it's, I think if it's with the treatment aspect, you gotta just you. I would find a home group, go to home group, start doing the steps. If you don't have that, try to find just people in the area that are sober and just do shit with them. And then like everything will fall into place. If it's like fitness, just go to a gym or I think it's just easier to find somebody to do it with to make yourself feel more comfortable doing it, I think. Um like with my shit, like I didn't really go to meetings at all, but I would hit up Novak, and Novak would take me to the meetings that he liked. So then now I know what meetings he likes. So then if he's not able to do it, I go to those because he showed me which ones are good. You know what I mean? Um, there's like apps. There's a meeting guide app that I use that are like it shows where they're at. If no matter where I am, like I can look one up now. Anywhere around here, I can just pop in and go. Um, yeah, just fucking go for it, I think. Because then it's like, I feel like for so many years, I just thought about like, oh yeah, like one day I'll do this, but like I just never did. But then as soon as you just like do it, you feel better after you get it done. You know what I mean? Just fucking, it'll be worth it in the long run,
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely, absolutely. No, I completely agree. And I think that, like you said, taking that first step and having a partner or someone to kind of go through it, whether it be go through it with you or kind of show you the way to help you get started, is super, super beneficial.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it,
Thank
dude.
you, sir.
It was a good time.
Should we go to Kildare's or what? Jake's far. Let's see if Jake's still in town.
Dude, I don't know. All right, man. I'll catch you
Thanks, man.
later.
7 days. 7 days straight going through detox. Can you imagine what that could possibly feel like? For me personally, no, I cannot imagine that. And my hat goes off to Nick and his family and everyone who was around him, is still around him, and will continue to be around him as he goes through this wonderful journey of sobriety. I commend Nick for everything that he is doing, and I commend him for coming on the podcast and sharing this story, because it's a very, very powerful story, and I think it's something that we can all take away from. So thank you so much to Nick for coming on the podcast and sharing his story. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode, and I hope that you can share this with somebody who may benefit from listening to Nick's story. That would help me, it would help them, it would help you. It would just really mean the world to me if you could share this story with someone who you think could potentially benefit from this. If you are interested in supporting the podcast in any other way, please feel free to leave a review or subscribe on whatever app you are listening on. The Do It For Yourself podcast is on all apps where you can get podcasts. So if you just hit the subscribe button, you will get all the latest episodes, and you won't miss out on anything that is coming out. So I would greatly appreciate that. This weekend and into next week is Memorial Day, so I would like everyone to enjoy this time off, enjoy the time that you are going to have with your family, and enjoy what is considered by many the official kickoff to the summer.